And that's one of the things that I completely held the line on, and you talk about in the book how there's some other things where I allowed a little bit of slack, and you actually kind of capture that in a couple pages later that I pulled up here. It's middle of page 76. Punch through that little section right there, and I think it's a good kind of captures what we're talking about in terms of, and you were saying this to me earlier today. You're like, everyone thinks Jocko would just be like, hey, you're gonna shut up and do what I tell you to do, and it's like, well, actually, there's some things I'm going to tell you that, but there's there's going to be a balance.
Well, you never said you shut up and do what I tell you to do, right? I'm sure you probably wanted to, but many times, and still do. I'm sure often, but there is. It's not effective. It's never effective to do that. And I think so many leaders that want to just, why won't they just do what I tell them to do? It's people get really frustrated by that. But obviously, you got to hold the line. You absolutely have to hold the line. And if you'd have relented on us being able to learn how to use our radios, I mean, that could have cost lives right there. Another burst of rounds comes through the roof wall, or we take a main gun round. Now you're talking the cannon on the tank, the 120 millimeter main gun round. Just smashed through both sides of the walls. It would have been absolutely catastrophic. Those guys think they're under attack. They're shooting back at what they think is enemy. They don't even realize it.
And it's not like they were not ready to use those main gun rounds if they had to. I mean, they were putting some buildings down over there for sure.
And that's the hard part, right? Is that you've got to hold the line, and there's standards that can't be compromised, and you're failing your team and you're failing as a leader if you're not keeping those standards high and making sure the team achieves them. And yet also you can't be the unrelenting taskmaster, the slave driver that just smashes people down and says, shut up and do what I tell you to do.
Yeah, and this is something that I bring up a lot when I'm working with companies is like, do you actually want people to do whatever you tell them to do? And the immediate answer is like, well, yeah, I just want everyone to shut up and do what I tell them to do. Well, the actual answer is no, you don't want that. If you're a good leader, what you want is if I tell Leif, hey, go take that building over there, and you say to me, no, and I say, why not? And you say, well, there's an IED in the front yard and we'll all get killed if we go there. I go, okay, thank you. Now, as opposed to you're just going to blindly do whatever I tell you to do, well, then that's going to be problematic. So there's a balance in this too. And that's something that we talk about all the time. But you don't want to surround yourself with yes men. You don't want to surround yourself with yes men. And I've seen plenty of companies where the boss man has surrounded himself with yes men and they yes themselves into the grave. Because everyone's just agreeing. Oh, yep, we'll do that. That sounds like a great plan, boss. Oh yeah, yes, boss. That sounds like a great plan, boss. And the next thing you know, someone along the line should have said, "Hey, boss, that doesn't make any sense." Hey, boss, we got a good relationship with these people over here, but you know what? They're raising their prices a little bit. We don't want to work with them anymore. Okay, well, let's think about that. That's one of our biggest suppliers. Do we really want to nix our relationship with our biggest supplier? Does that make sense? Well, they're getting in our face. Now a yes man will be like, that's right, boss. We don't take no crap from no one. Screw those guys. But maybe you want someone below you in the chain of command that says, hey, boss, let's think about this. That's our biggest supplier. If we cut them off and demand goes up, we won't be able to service our customers. That could be problematic. Wouldn't you agree? How about we negotiate with them? So my point is, you don't just want people. You just don't want to be surrounded by yes men. You want people that are going to question you. You want people that are going to. Maybe that's why I like you so much, Leif, because you question. You have no problem questioning what I'm saying.
It's no all problem good. pushing back. Yeah, the humble, not passive. I've never been passive. So.